Emma's head was twisted and her arms fell to her sides as she levitated close to the ceiling. Her eyes looked hollow and her skin looked pale. I have always been fascinated by dungeons and castles and mazes and any place that can lead you into the unknown. So when my wife Emma received an unexpected letter tucked between the bills and junk mail, with its parchment yellowed and its seal marked with the crest of Hollow Manor, I couldn't resist the temptation. I opened the invitation, which read, "Dear Miss Emma Hawthorne, you are cordially invited to Hollow Manor for an exclusive interview with the reclusive Lord Jonathan Hollow. Your reputation as a relentless seeker of truth precedes you, and we believe you are the perfect candidate to uncover the secrets that shroud our ancestral home. Enclosed, you will find a train ticket and further instructions. We eagerly await your arrival." My wife is an investigative journalist, and this would be right up her alley, and mine, of course. As I put the invitation back into the envelope, Emma peeked around the corner. "Hey," she said, "give me that," playfully snatching the invitation out of my hands. Emma's curiosity ignited like wildfire. She accepted the invitation without hesitation, eager to unravel the enigma of Hollow Manor and its mysterious master. Needless to say, we bought an extra ticket and boarded the train. The train ride seemed endless as it chugged through the mist-covered countryside. Finally, Hollow Manor emerged from the fog. Its imposing silhouette stood in the distance like a silent sentinel guarding its secrets. We stepped onto the platform, hearts pounding with anticipation. A carriage awaited us, drawn by a pair of sleek black horses. The driver, a stoic figure clad in a dark cloak, wordlessly gestured for us to climb aboard. As the carriage rolled through the iron gates of Hollow Manor, Emma smiled from ear to ear. The grandeur of the estate was overshadowed by an eerie sense of foreboding that seemed to seep from the very walls themselves. Upon our arrival, we were ushered into the opulent drawing room where Lord Jonathan Hollow awaited us. He was a tall, imposing figure with piercing blue eyes that seemed to bore into your soul. "Welcome, Miss Hawthorne," he greeted her with a voice like velvet. "I trust your journey was uneventful?" Lord Jonathan nodded at me in acknowledgement. Emma nodded, unable to tear her gaze away from his penetrating stare. Lord Hollow was a man of few words, but his presence exuded a magnetic allure that both fascinated and unsettled her. Lord Jonathan summons a butler, and we were shown to our room. We freshened up, and Emma left to meet with Lord Jonathan while I stayed behind. Their interview began, but every question Emma asked was met with evasive answers and cryptic half-truths. It soon became apparent that Lord Hollow was guarding secrets far darker than she could have ever imagined. As night fell, we retired to our room and settled in front of the fireplace, her mind swirling with unanswered questions. Strange noises echoed through the corridors like whispers from the grave. Unable to sleep, Emma ventured into the labyrinthine halls of Hollow Manor, her footsteps muffled by the plush carpeting. Shadows danced on the walls, and the flickering candlelight cast shapes that seemed to come alive in the darkness. Suddenly, Emma heard a blood-curdling scream pierce the silence. Racing towards the source of the sound, she found herself standing before a hidden doorway concealed behind a tapestry. With trembling hands, Emma pushed open the door and stepped into the chamber beyond. What she saw made her blood run cold. In the dim light, Emma beheld a ghastly scene that defied all reason. The room was adorned with arcane symbols and flickering candles, and in the center a figure levitated above her, shrouded in darkness. As her eyes adjusted to the gloom, Emma realized with horror that the figure was none other than Lord Jonathan Hollow himself. But he was no longer the enigmatic nobleman she had met earlier. His eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and his features contorted into a grotesque mask of madness. With a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of the abyss, he spoke words of unspeakable horror that chilled Emma to the bone. But before she could flee, a sudden gust of wind extinguished the candles, plunging the chamber into darkness. In the inky blackness, Emma felt something cold and clammy wrap around her throat, cutting off her screams. When Emma left, I lay on the bed and read a book I found in the library titled Behind Closed Doors. The book was gripping right from the start, but I suddenly sat up straight. Where the hell is Emma? She had left 2 hours earlier. I put my shoes on and left the room. I walked down the dimly lit corridor, my footsteps muffled by the thick carpet. I walked into a huge, sparsely furnished hall lined with bookshelves. There was an arch leading towards an adjacent room. I walked through the arch into a study and then out the door which led me back to the passage I had just come from. I walked back to the hall and studied the bookshelves. A small button caught my attention, and I pressed it. A secret door silently swung open, and I walked into what looked like a chamber. My eyes fell on a figure of a woman levitating in the air. "Emma!" I screamed, but she didn't respond. Emma floated in the air, her arms bent backwards and eyes shut. I walked across the room, picked up a chair and placed it in line with Emma. I reached out, and as I touched her hand, she fell with a loud thud. I picked her up and sprinted from the room as fast as I could. Reaching our room, I placed her on the bed. She slept peacefully. As I studied her, I noticed a mark around her neck as if someone tried to strangle her. Through the night, I stayed by her side to make sure she was safe. When Emma awoke, she found herself lying in her bed, bathed in the cold light of dawn. It took her a moment to realize that what she had experienced had not been a dream, but a nightmare come to life. Emma turned her head towards me. Startled, she let out a scream. "Shh," I said, placing a finger on my lips, gesturing her to be quiet. With trembling hands, she lifted her body and sat upright. "He was going to kill me," Emma whispered. "If you hadn't found me," she trailed off. With trembling hands, we gathered our belongings and fled Hollow Manor, vowing never to return. But as we stepped outside, we were greeted by a sight that made my blood run cold. For towering above the manor, shrouded in mist and shadow, loomed the spectral figure of Lord Jonathan Hollow himself. And as he gazed upon us with eyes that burned like coals, I knew that the horror of Hollow Manor would haunt Emma for a long, long time. The secrets of Hollow Manor had been revealed, but at what cost? And would Emma ever be able to escape the clutches of its evil master?